Take a look at this here article. This is from Bloomberg City Lab.
Speaking of Bloomberg.
Dozens of city governments declare racism a public health crisis. Okay, that literally means nothing, but sure. More than 50 city declarations put racism's health impacts on par with disease and addiction. Health organizations and school districts are adopting them too. Do you know what the cure for racism is?
Stop talking about it.
No. I mean, like,
stop calling people by their race. Just calling them a person.
No. I'm talking about it's a public health crisis, Adam. The government has said so.
That doesn't mean I believe them.
How do you think they will seek to cure this public health crisis?
I don't know. Where is this anyway?
50 different cities. And this is from the 13th, so it's ignoring the fact that Colorado State has already pushed forward the declaration itself and a bunch of other cities in the meantime. And about 10 or 12% of the CDC has signed a document demanding the CDC declare racism a public health emergency in this country.
Heaven help us.
Nationwide.
Let me guess. Biden will save us all from it?
No. Biden's for it.
No. I know he's for it. That's what my point is, right. Tim. Come on.
Yes. I thought you meant save us like in the honest sense of what saving us means, not from their perspective. So this is what you're going to get. So your friend who says, like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'll tell you what. There's going to be some dude who shows up in a pink, shirt that says community police, and they're going to knock on your door and they're going to say, "We heard you last night playing rap music. You're under arrest. You have to come with us." And they're going to be
under arrest. How can they arrest anyone?
What do you mean? Morality policing.
I know, but who's going to... They don't have authority to arrest people. Is that they're going to have authority to do that?
The new police, yes.
So they're going to think that they can take somebody against their will? You think someone who doesn't want to get taken is going to allow that to happen?
I do. Case in point, the McCloskeys who handed over their guns when the police illegally seized them. Yes, when the state authorities show up at their door and say... you culturally appropriated, and that's a violation of the law. Look, if they can get the city council to vote to abolish the police, they're going to do a whole bunch of crazy things.
That's a bad example, dude.
What is?
The McCloskeys were law-abiding citizens. They even knew that those guns weren't firing.
Right.
They couldn't be fired.
And so
you're giving an example of a law-abiding citizens. Well, of course they're going to go along with it. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people that are actually doing crimes that don't care.
I just said a person's at their house playing rap music.
Okay.
And a guy shows up in a pink shirt and says you're under arrest for cultural appropriation.
Yeah. Well, who knows the type of person? I mean, anyone can listen to rap music. I listen to rap music.
The point I'm making.
There's people that won't care who shows up. They'll be like, "Get out of here, F off."
If the McCloskeys
slam the door,
who donate to Republicans and show up on their porches with a rifle, pointing, and the wife with the handgun, if they're willing to do that and they're still willing to turn over their weapons to an illegal demand, if the Atlas gym owners who are saying you can't force us are still willing to get in the police vehicle with the cops and be arrested.
More law-abiding citizens.
And the guy playing rap music is also a law-abiding citizen. And when the unconstitutional edicts come down and racism is a public health crisis, and just like COVID, they can unconstitutionally lock down your business and arrest you, they're going to say, to cure racism, we must end white supremacy. You can't play this music. And then they show up and say, you're under arrest. And the people will say, okay. They've been doing it. Why would they stop? The only evidence we have right now, based on everything that's happened, is that people will absolutely agree to all of the unconstitutional edicts laid before them. Right now, the World Economic Forum has announced the new program to be implemented will take your blood. I'm not making this up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm not going to give them my blood.
And guess how many people will? A lot. If the World Economic Forum can straight come out and say, if you would like to go to arenas and go to the movies and travel, you must go to a lab and give them your blood, and they will then give you a mobile app which will confirm you're free to travel. And that's in the public, certified NewsGuard, confirmed from the World Economic Forum. And there's no rioting over this. I don't think people care.
I don't know about it. Like, no one knows about that. I didn't hear about that until you just told me.
Well, now they do.
I'm about to riot, dude. So that's ridiculous. No one's going to take my blood and tell me I can't go travel because they have to analyze my blood.
Bro, they shut down your passport already.
Well, then I'm going to leave this country then, if that's the case. Why would I want to be in this country?
You can't. Your passport's been voided. You can't travel anywhere anymore, dude.
Well, it sounds like it's time for us to riot because this is ridiculous. The left gets to riot. So if they get to riot because of this stuff, why? I mean, this is insane. Like I'm starting to get really. I was already mad
when they arrested.
So you're
the guy,
telling me that that's what their new plan is? Then we need to start freaking protesting and riot, man. I'm down. Let's do this.
Not riot.
Well, whatever.
Riots don't work.
Well, it seems like it's legal. Legally, they're getting things done. You've been talking about right now. Your point right now.
The riots backfired
but it's
Donald
proving.
Trump.
Look at this. This is because they're rioting and
it's
getting
not.
into the system.
The riots helped Donald Trump. That's why they panicked and backed off immediately.
Okay.
Donald Trump sent out police and people started supporting him. Peaceful protests do work. People standing up and linking arms around statues does work. Coming out and saying, I won't stand for this works. Telling your boss you won't stand for it works.
All right.
People doing everything they can.
All right. If that's the case, then let's get this. Tell them it's not going to work. They're not going to take our blood. Let's fight this. Everybody needs to fight this. We got 40,000 people here. If you want your blood taken and have them analyze it and allow you to go to the movies, allow you to travel, shut down your passport because you haven't given your blood, if that's not ridiculous to you, then let it happen.
Pull it up. World Economic Forum. Let me just make sure you see this. NewsGuard certified. This website adheres to basic standards of credibility and transparency. 82.5 out of 100. Could this COVID-19 health passport be the future of travel and events? And here's the machines that actually do it. You're given your phone, you get a QR code, and they say straight up that, let me see where it is. They say specifically blood tests. Boom.
This is from the United Nations. This is not America.
It's
I see
it
right there.
It's the World Economic Forum.
Okay.
Yes. And they're doing this around the world. This is what they're calling for right now. COVID Pass, the brainchild of the World Economic Forum's young global leaders, Mustafa Mokas. It also involves YGLs across 5 continents, including Muna, Abu Suleiman, and Peggy Lou. COVID Pass uses blockchain technology to store encrypted data from individual blood tests, allowing users to prove they've tested negative for COVID-19. So will that come to the United States? Maybe not. But it also means our passports don't work anymore and we can't go anywhere. There's like, what are there, like 4 countries we can travel to now?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's like 4.
That's insane. If you don't have a passport, how are you supposed to leave the U.S.?
You can't. That's the point.
Right.
You can't go anywhere anymore. So there's a small, I think we can go to Turkey, Mexico, and a couple other countries.
Not even Canada, right?
There was a private jet full of ultra wealthy people that tried flying to Europe and got turned away and had to fly somewhere else. Yeah, we can't go to Canada either.
Holy cow.
And guess what the rich people are going to do? They're going to buy a St. Kitts and Nevis passport for $50,000 and then go wherever they want. They're going to buy citizenship because you can. It's called economic citizenship.
Right.
You got a rich person, got $500,000. You drop that in a bank account in some country. Boom, you're a citizen. You can go wherever you want.
Jeez, dude.
Now, they'll probably want your blood, I guess, because that's what the World Economic Forum is talking about. But let me go back to this point about all of the racism as a public health crisis. Listen. If they're telling us straight up what whiteness is and white supremacy, and it's a public health crisis, hey, the same as COVID. And they violated the Constitution to arrest business owners in New Jersey, in Texas, and Ohio, and Michigan. And this was months ago. They arrested the patron of a gym in New Jersey. And there have been some Back the Blue protests. But there hasn't been widespread outrage in terms of, on par with what we've seen from Black Lives Matter. In fact, the left doesn't seem to care all of this is going on. So I'll tell you what I'm seeing. We have seen absolutely zero evidence to suggest that, well, I take that back. I would say we have seen a tiny, tiny morsel to suggest that people will resist unconstitutional edict. And in this, the police will absolutely adhere to their orders over the Constitution. The 2 guys at Atlas Gym who said no, these are people. This is evidence to suggest some people will stand up and remain defiant.
Someone sent me a law that was put into place a long time ago. I think in like 1986 or something, and it allows the president to take control of and basically turn all the police force into I don't remember the exact words. Something about a posse something. So he can actually take control of them all.
Theoretically under Directive 51 as well.
But it was before Directive 51 even came into place. So he can enact that and enact the other thing. So it's like if they're going to follow their orders, technically it would be following the orders if the president ordered them to do something.
If he actually would do it.
I know. But
so listen, the point I'm making is if all of these cities and states, Colorado now, are saying racism is a public health crisis, Well, cultural appropriation is racist. So yeah, white man playing rap music, they'll come to your house and tell you to stop. You can't do that. They'll come to your job and say no more schedules allowed. Other ridiculous nonsense. Who knows how absurd and insane they'll get. But we all saw what happened with Evergreen and Brett Weinstein. They shut everything down. They locked the administrators in their rooms. They wouldn't let them go to the bathroom. And when the guy was talking and he was waving his hands, they said, "Stop waving with your hands. It's racist." And when he did, they all laughed at him. It's the rise of authoritarianism, and they are using this to push it through. And all of these people are cheering for it in massive protests, and the silent majority is crossing their fingers that voting for Trump will fix it. Maybe. But these cities are doing this right now, and the progressives have already said, do whatever you want. Even if we lose, we are here forever. That's what some of these, they were tweeting it earlier. A bunch of progressives were like, we're here to stay. It's not going away. So I wonder about these cities where these declarations were put into effect. I wonder about these specific instances, but more importantly, I wonder about when Andrew Cuomo put sick people into nursing homes, killing, and I mean this quite literally, killing. He personally killed 6,500 people. Were there riots?
Nope.
Now, when a guy in Ferguson,
which blows me away,
tried to steal,
I tell that to people and they don't even believe me. They get upset because actually someone completely blocked me because I just simply said that. Because I was talking about the numbers and I'm like, well, what about the fact that he killed thousands of people? And then I didn't even get a response. I just got blocked. It's like, oh, wow, okay. You just want to live in that blindness.
And considering there are people who don't believe it, I pulled up the source. ProPublica is a left-wing publication. Okay, Yep. They probably would say they're legitimate journalism. They say, the Cuomo administration hasn't said which nursing homes were infected with COVID-19 after its order sent positive patients into them. Dozens of New York nursing homes didn't see their first COVID case until sick patients were sent there, many under Andrew Cuomo's state policy. To date, 6% of the state's nursing home population, roughly 6,500 residents, have died. That's Cuomo. He did that.
Yes, he did. He's
and
got
his
blood
approval,
on,
and
he's
his
got blood on his hands.
What's his approval rating at right now?
It was at 60% last time I checked.
Yeah, wonderful. His approval rating's at 60%.
Because no one's talking about this, though. The mainstream media is not. They're not talking about that.
Yep. So I have to wonder, though, is it if people aren't standing up over all of these things we've just talked about, is the message actually reaching a silent majority? Or is the silent majority silent because they don't know? Because there's no...
Yeah, maybe.
In which case, they're not going to vote for Trump.
Well, you know what? I'm going to take this time to ask all of you to speak up, talk about all this stuff to everybody you know. Because we're losing our freedoms right now. They're single-handedly taking all of our freedoms away. Just keep plucking them away one by one. Just gone. So unless you want to live with no freedoms, you better start standing up for yourselves, talking.
It's your rights.
A lot of people are coming up to me and saying that they're speaking up, and it's awesome. And I love it. I love it so much. That's what I want to see. That's what we need to do. We need to speak up and fight this because they're doing it in front of our eyes. And we're just sitting there like, they're not going to make it worse, are they? They're not going to make it. Well, nope, they just made it worse. Yep. Racism is cultural appropriation is now illegal. Great. Awesome.
Check this out. Bloomberg says, among the causes for the declaration as stated in the resolution, a quote, a failure by any of our citizens to acknowledge the prevalence of racism in our community and join in the fight to eradicate its effects on the majority of our residents is an unwelcome option. That's Memphis. What does that mean?
Okay, so this is like what Jo Jorgensen was talking about when she gave that libertarian tweet about being anti-racist. This is not passively not being racist. This is actively taking the steps that they want you to take. This is just authoritarianism.
Join the cult.
100%.
Seriously.
The Libertarian Party candidate told people what they must do. When the churches are shutting down, when the Supreme Court straight up said, we will infringe upon your right to freedom of religion.
Yep.
Where were the religious folk?
Unless it's
Where
them.
was anybody?
Did you see, the funeral that went on the other day? It was messed up.
Yep, that's right.
They were sitting right next to each other.
No masks.
Packed the whole place in.
And Obama was like, we can't have these big open events, or we can't have these big events with people all close to each other. Wink, wink.
Right.
They had a funeral. They had a funeral. It was for John Lewis, right?
Yeah.
And, rest in peace, my respects. Yet they had a funeral where they were all sitting next to each other, and they flaunt it. They are the cultural authority.
Yep.
And it's as simple as the far left will go up, they'll go out, they'll protest, and no one else will. Now, to be fair, I'm exaggerating a bit. There are Back the Blue protests that go outside, and there have been many across this country, but they're not nearly as big as Black Lives Matter was.
Yep.
Black Lives Matter is more popular, according to various polls, than both political parties right now. And we've seen high-profile leaders of the organization say that they should form their own political party because they'd win. They probably would.
Yep. But then look at Herman Cain. They're just trying to make it seem like he went to a Trump event and got COVID. Well, newsflash, he was tested before and after going to that and didn't have it. So he didn't get it there. He was also fighting cancer for over 2 years. It's like, sure, he caught it, sure, okay, and happened to die, but his body wasn't 100%.
Stage 4 cancer.
Yeah, it's like, and they're politicizing his death because he was not on their side. He wasn't one of their soldiers, so they're not propping him up at all when he was an awesome man.
Disgusting.
Who was it who denied, was it de Blasio, denied the Blue Lives Matter mural?
Yeah.
They are flaunting their violations of the Constitution.
Yes, they are.
Straight up flaunting it.
Yep.
If it has gotten so extreme in the past several months this year, where these people, violent authoritarians, engaging in repressive, violent behavior, empowering their cronies, painting their messages in the streets, and denying equality to others while simultaneously trying to revoke civil rights legislation, at least in California, which it'll come next to the federal government, I assure you, and it'll come under the guise of probably like trans rights, I'd imagine. Something to that effect. What they're doing in California is under the guise of affirmative action. They want to hire based on race. They're stripping away our rights, and they've already been taking them away. It's freedoms, sure, but it's our civil rights. Our right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness is gone. Under COVID, it is gone, 100%.
Yep, seems like it.
These governors are crushing industry, crushing businesses, and there you go. And what do we get? Internationally, they are calling for, quite literally, our blood.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
they're calling for our blood. Nope. Isn't it against some religions?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, how are they going to get around that?
Well, you can't accept blood. I'm not sure if you can not give it.
No, there's some religions where you can't pierce your own skin at all. Like, that's against people's religion.
Well, I don't think
the freedoms are being taken away right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, dude.
It's like people are like, well, why don't you run for office? It's like, I'm sitting here talking about this. I'm telling you guys. Yeah, some people say I get emotional, but you should be too. You should be mad. This is insane. It's happening right in front of our eyes. And if you're not mad, then what is wrong with you? We all are. Why are you laughing? It's not even funny.
If you're not mad, you're not paying attention.
Thank you.
That's the saying. That's why I laugh, because it's true. 100%. You should be mad about this. This should be something that you care about. And I don't think people care about it anymore because I think life is too easy. Honestly. I don't know how else to put it. We've been really lucky. This is what our parents fought for, and we should be grateful. But at the same time, why are we just going to let it go away? Honestly. Is this really what we want? If you care about your kids, then you should do something.
I can't find the travel map. I was trying to find the travel map that they've been sharing. I can't remember which source it was. But it's a map of the Earth. And it's like the countries in blue are where you can travel to as an American. And there's like 4 countries. So I was talking to my friend in Ukraine because before, at the end of last year, I had actually went and hung out with her in Mexico. And I was like, man, isn't it so great to have an American passport? Like it's so difficult for people from other countries to travel. Even for her to go to Mexico, it's like you've got to get an application or whatever. Mm-hmm. But they have like a new treaty. And then here I am with this golden ticket. I can fly wherever I want. And now, 8-9 months later, you can't go anywhere. It's like they're basically telling us we have to fall in line with what they want or else. Conveniently, right as Donald Trump is running for re-election, it's how fortunate or unfortunate, to be honest, because it may result in such a massive backlash that Trump wins in a ridiculous landslide.
I think that's going to happen. Definitely.
But what's crazy about this today compared to the other landslides is that the whole world is involved with COVID. The entire planet. I mean, I guess except Sweden, which kind of never did anything, you know.
And their deaths are dropping.
Yep.
And their caseloads are dropping.
Yeah, I was encouraged.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is since the start of this, it's been lie after lie. There's a really funny post going viral on Reddit right now where it's you know the subreddit Am I the A-hole?
I don't read it.
There's a very popular subreddit called Am I the A-hole where
Yeah.
somebody, you know, they use the real swear, the real swear. But basically what you do is you say, hey, today, you know, my girlfriend made me pancakes and I didn't eat them because I had a stomachache and now she's upset. Am I the a-hole? It's like, that's how it works. Typically, the stories are a bit more complicated than that, where they'll say something like, I bought tickets to an island vacation without consulting my wife. It was a surprise. Then it turns out she really hates, islands and she's upset. Am I the a-hole? And one of them was, it said, I made my kid wear a mask to school, even though the school mandated he not be allowed to wear it. Am I the a-hole? And they all said yes. Why are you teaching your kid to be paranoid? Why are you telling your kid to wear masks? Don't you know wearing masks is wrong? You're so dumb. And it was from 4 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 months ago. They said you're an a-hole if you wear a mask.
Wow.
You're an a-hole if you don't. And what are we seeing? You know what, man? There was a guy eating lunch with his wife, and they had masks. They took them off to eat their food, and the lady got mad, and she sprayed them. There was another story of a guy he took off his mask to eat, I think, a banana, and some guy splashed him in the face with coffee, so he punched the other guy in the face. Like, all over masks. So since the beginning of this, we've seen a violation of our rights. Businesses have been illegally shut down. People have been arrested for running their businesses. And that's it. Carry on. It's like, is the world ending or something? Is the simulation over? Or is the aliens going to be here and they're like, quick, everybody put on your best uniform. Everybody get in line because the aliens are going to land. I have no idea what's going on, but I'll tell you this.
No, it's simple, Tim. They need to get Trump out of office so they don't all go to jail.
I think you're right.
That is the
He's
simple
right.
solution, man.
I'm dead serious. That's
Seriously.
all it is.
We're going to go to jail unless we...
No, not us. The people that are making this all happen.
That's what I mean. That's what they're saying.
Yep.
They're like, what do we do?
We're getting called out. We need this to all to go away.
Pull out the stops.
Trump is not doing it because he's after us, and yeah, they're scared, and they should be because Trump's gonna win, and they're gonna go to jail. I believe.
Yeah,
it.
but don't
I
you
hope
think?
you're
Don't you think they'd go a bit above and beyond cheating?
What do you think 2020 is, dude?
It's the cheat year.
Yeah, this is. Is this not above and beyond, Tim?
All
Looks like
right.
it to me.
So here's the big question then. If November 4th rolls around and they say Joe Biden won, what do you do? Let's say it's like voting went off without a hitch. Joe Biden wins in a landslide. Donald Trump says, I lost everybody. Joe Biden immediately comes out and says the Durham investigation is over, done. On the 20th, the day I'm inaugurated, I am putting an end to all of this. All of Trump's policies erased.
You know what I'm gonna do if that's the case?
Crack open some whiskey.
The only thing I can do.
You know what I would do?
What would you do?
I would get out my little ballot at the next election and I would vote someone's butt into office who would help hold him accountable. That would be the only thing I could do. I couldn't condone rioting.
Everything would be
Oh,
gone.
no, rioting doesn't work. That's
Right.
the issue.
Right.
Everything would be gone. Any evidence that's there is gone if he gets into public. If that's come on.
You know what I think, man? They didn't think Trump was going to win, so they didn't clean up house. You know what
I know.
So they were like, I'm imagining, Obama doing the Obamagate stuff with Biden and Michael Flynn. And they're like, or, before Trump actually won, should we burn these documents? No, Trump can't win. It's fine. Then Trump wins, and they're like, oh, geez.
They had an insurance
do?
policy.
Yeah, they did. Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. FBI agents talking about their insurance policy to stop Trump from winning.
Yep.
And then we
straight
learned-
up saying, "Don't worry, he's not going to let him win.
We got
We
this."
won't let him."
Yep.
That's on the
And-
record.
And she was, what did she say? Like, thank God or something?
I don't know
something like
exactly
that.
that, but she did say that we're not going
Didn't
to
she
let
get
him
hired?
win.
Didn't she get hired by MSNBC?
She is a commentator now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So
So is McCabe.
I don't know, man. I'm not 100% convinced that all of this goes away if Trump wins. I just know that Joe Biden can't. He can't win.
Nope.
I mean, it's beyond all of this insanity that's been happening around the country. It's the fact that if you remove all of that from the equation, you've got a creepy dude who gropes little girls who falls asleep on TV.
Okay.
Who in their right mind would vote for this man?
I have no idea. I don't understand the people.
Then you add
not to mention his history of bills that he's put up and the racist stuff. Like, he's literally racist. Like,
did you hear what he
all
said
of
recently?
the different? Oh goodness, another thing. Great. What?
About how people can't distinguish. Like, how he basically said all Asians look the same.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, hey, whoa, that's not true, man.
Well, in this instance, you're just white. In this instance,
Right, of course. Because you ain't black.
The fact that he would say something as insanely racist as he basically said that when Trump criticizes China, it's racist because the average person can't tell the difference in his mind.
That's ridiculous.
Between like someone from South Korea or China. Yes, and that's one of the most insane things. It's like the dude's never actually traveled or met any of these people, but he actually says this, and they're like, "That's right, Joe." Like, why would you agree with this man? That's not true.
I don't understand anyone that supports that guy.
Yep.
Anyone that supports him, all I can think is, oh, you're misinformed. Oh,
Cute.
Oh, that's sad. That's where I'm at right now.
You know what I hear from people on the left when they're like, when I talk about the guy throwing the explosive, for instance, they're like, Tim's lying. He won't talk about the peaceful protests. And I was like, there was a peaceful protest, and then a bunch of people started throwing explosives. So that's the story, right? What do you want me to say? You want me to lie and remove the explosives part? Yes, they do. They literally do.
Yep.
During Occupy Wall Street, I would film anything, cop, protester, or otherwise. I just filmed what was going on. I actually had them physically threaten me.
Wow.
That I needed to stop filming them or else. The reason they tried taking a light approach was because I was getting a ton of attention for them. So long as it was beneficial, they were happy. Recently, I had this Antifa guy tell me that back in the day when we used to talk about the rights of freedom of expression, liberalism, free speech, etc., they were using me. They knew that as long as I was hanging out with them and was friends with them, people were more likely to see a positive view of them. And the moment that, that camp broke up and I left, I was absolutely their enemy. So during Occupy, many of them physically attacked me. This is what I love the most. When people comment on my post and they're like, tisk tisk Tim, condemning the activists. What happened to you since Occupy? And I'm like, did you not remember that during Occupy Wall Street, the Antifa type, we just called them Black Bloc, were physically attacking me like on numerous occasions? Like there's video of it because I filmed them breaking the law and I yelled, I will film you breaking the law and you can't do anything about it. They've never liked me because I've always been about transparency and accountability. Well, they don't want that for themselves. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.